if you're like me and you grew up in the 80s, this would have been one of your favourite characters from Transformers, and let's just say this was the one voice that we all tried to mimic, and I don't know about you personally, but I generally did a terrible job, but, I tried. However, there is one person who's quite good at doing this voice. Isn't that right, Greg?
Me Dinobot leader. Me Grimlock. Me king. Slag and sludge do what Grimlock say. Wait, what was the question?
I can't remember. Greg, can I just say, first of all, welcome to England, and thank you so much for taking the time to this. So, am I right? You've literally just flown in today, isn't it, or yesterday?
Yeah, I think I told you that my body arrived yesterday.
Yeah.
I got a good night's sleep,
Yeah.
so let's say I arrived today.
And so for everyone watching, obviously this is TF Nation. It's the 40th anniversary of Transformers.
Happy to be here.
And am I right? You've done quite a few events this year, haven't you?
Because it's the 40th anniversary of Transformers, which means I'm at least 42 years old. Yeah. There have been Easter eggs. There's been a cinema release. There's been travel opportunities that have been fantastic. I'm representing, along with many of the G1 cast, the franchise itself, and it's a source of great pride for us. And this is a milestone anniversary, as well it should be. We're celebrating. TF Nation is celebrating. We're in Birmingham today through this weekend. We did panel that was packed to the gills this afternoon. There's lots more to come, and signings and events, and it's joyous, and it should be. And fandom is the element of the Transformers franchise that makes this go on and on and on generationally, because I meet people and I meet their kids, and that's just mind-bending and mind-blowing to me.
Well, I was just thinking, with it being 40 years, I mean, I'm assuming you've been asked this question many times, but when you first got the role for this, did you ever think it was going to sustain for this sort of period?
The new cars say they can see around the next corner. No one can see around the next corner. You do the job that you do the best that you can do. Yeah. We all did that. We were under the leadership of Wally Burr, the director, the fantastic artists, the writers, but no one can see into the future. The fact that this has had the longevity that it has had speaks to some unforeseen, incredible good fortune for all of us. I'm not saying that it wasn't in the scripts. I'm not saying it wasn't in the design of the characters, but animation has changed, and yet, because it's a character-driven story, because it's a story about robots, when new generations are introduced to G1, the design, the concept, the animation itself, which has a style that has some staying power. No one can, I don't think you can diagnose it, break it down, recreate it. It just is what it is, but it has some hold. And when a new generation is introduced to it, thankfully, they want to go along for the full ride all over again. And they reintroduce, you just held up a Studio 86 version. These models, these designs, they keep getting reintroduced
isn't it fascinating
and embraced.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they keep reverting back to the G1 stuff all the time.
Again
you're here,
and
is
again.
it Robosen you're here in Connect?
Very much so. I'm co-sponsored by them.
Yeah.
This robot has 32 synchronized motors, and the voice chip is me.
Yeah.
And
did you have to record a whole load of different phrases and
days
everything?
of phrases so that they were covered almost like an interactive game for every eventuality. It's all in there. It's a magnificent piece of engineering and technology, and and one more step towards immortality.
It's incredible. I mean that shows the staying power. But it must be nice to know. I mean, you've got toys made about you, but now you've got your voice actually, added to them.
This is next level.
Yeah. But actually, so am I right? So tomorrow, so you've already done some work here. You've done some panels today.
It's been a busy day.
Because I've been in the traders' hall, busy setting up, so I've missed all this side of things.
Right. These, for those who may or may not know, these events are it's a collective of fans and fan energy and vendors and vendor energy. New merchandise is introduced. Old merchandise is embraced. There are events and signings and panels, and the panels are often question driven. And because fandom tends to be so knowledgeable, not only about the franchise itself, but about the toy lines, it's just it's astonishing. It's a focal point for so many. And when there's a convention like this, which is Transformers Centric, it's almost like Disneyland for Transformers. Everybody is having the same conversation, and it's special. It's very special in its own way.
Do you know, I was thinking that. It's like, as a kid, we'd go to our favourite toy shop and we'd have our favourite toy that we'd go for. But here, it's like an entire toy shop of everything of your favourite
It's all
favourite
here.
product.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So I have to ask, on a side note, I know we're here about Transformers, but I've got to talk to you about Police Academy. Do you mind if I ask? Because I grew up on the franchise. I loved it. And of course, I actually saw you in Police Academy Mission to Moscow. Do you mind if we veer off a little bit on this?
Let's go there. I was Yuri Talinsky from Russian police. We're trading secrets. They're coming, and we're having borscht together and solving crimes together. So I auditioned for this film and was asked by Alan Metter, the director. He said, "We love you. You're hilarious. We want you to go with us to Moscow." It was all filmed on location in and around Moscow. We were there for 4 months with, get this, Ron Perlman, Christopher Lee, Charlie Schlatter, the regular crew of Police Academy. All wonderful. Who have I left out? Claire Forlani.
Claire, of course, that was in the early days of her career.
It was a magnificent assemblage. Yeah. But, to see Christopher Lee in the morning at 7 a.m. Oh, is it a company move? Yes. Oh, good morning, Craig. Good morning, Christopher Lee.
Actually, I have to ask you, do you get... Okay, I mean... Like with me, when I first walked in the room, I was a little bit stuttery with you because I've literally watched you in film a few times. Do you ever get a little starstruck with ones that you meet in the industry?
I became such great friends with George Gaines and Michael Winslow, and Christopher Lee, of course, and it was just and Ron Perlman. We all had a great time. Ron Perlman had a great Frank Sinatra collection that he brought with him. But it was fantastic. And when you're on location and when you're on the road, it's kind of like being at camp with a group of people. You kind of keep to yourselves, at least in the hotel, and although you venture forth. And for me, it's important for me to take advantage of that opportunity culturally to be somewhere that you haven't been. I was finishing up. He wanted to know how he was going to tell the lobby full of Russian actors that they were giving the part to me. I said, please rest assured, my ancestry is full Russian, on both sides, and I come with papers. It was the trip of a lifetime. It was a great adventure. And I'll never forget it. It was life on location, and it was rugged, and it was very fulfilling.
Am I right as well? That was 1994, so we're on the 30th anniversary of the police.
Coming right up, and it's my first movie poster art. We're all in a typical Police Academy movie poster, and it's a pyramid of all of us, and I'm at the bottom of the pyramid supporting it.
Oh, excellent.
With a Hungarian or a Polish caterer with too much salt in my diet. And my face is kind of a balloon.
Well, I suppose really you could say that it's the year of anniversary, isn't it? You got the 30th of the Police Academy and the 40th for Transformers. So.
You know what? I'm so tired of memorials. I'll celebrate anything and everything.
Yeah. Anniversaries are much better, aren't they?
Give me anniversaries.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Greg, can I just say, absolute pleasure speaking to you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend. So,
I am. Every attendee is. If people don't leave happy, fulfilled, and with heavy bags full of merchandise, then everybody's doing something wrong. It's all here, and it's all fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, look, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time for this. Really, really appreciate it.
I came to play. I come to play. I love this. If I wasn't a special guest, thankfully, I probably would be an attendee anyway if I could.
Yeah, just to sort of, just
I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've loved with some of your updates. I see it on Facebook as well. You just seem to, like I saw in Australia recently, you were just absolutely loving the whole thing. So it's just great to see.
I make a point of trying to be where I am, take advantage of that travel opportunity, and explore the place where I've been allowed to be.
Actually, I've just thought very quickly before we go. Do you get chance whilst you're here? Do you get a chance to do any sightsighting around the UK at all? Or
I will see how things are allowed. I'm extending, so after this weekend, I'm extending into London. I have a lot of friends and community there.
Good stuff. Yeah.
And I'm going to see some theatre, and it will be a blast.
It will, yeah, absolutely. I'm off to London in a couple of months myself, so
there you have it.
check. There's something special about that place.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, honestly, Greg, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, cheers.
Me no bozo.